What is going on YouTube? Parker the Basshead here, another video for y'all. Pretty recently, CT Sounds came out with their own loaded enclosures. They have them in 8s, 10s, and 12s, and you can get them in a single or dual setup for all three. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at these, and we're going to be taking the 12-inch version, putting it to the test, seeing how it sounds and how it does. Let's get into it. That's right, guys. Excited to have something new on the channel, and a big shout out to CT Sounds for sending me these. CT Sounds has been another big supporter of the channel in the past, and I really appreciate it. Now, I really like some loaded enclosures, mainly because, generally speaking, they're building a box that is optimal for the particular sub that they are throwing in it. This is just nice if you need something that is affordable and that's going to sound good out of the box. You can grab yourself a setup like this and be pretty good to go. Now, y'all know I have used the SCAR boxes for a ton of my testing, and the CT Sound boxes actually look pretty similar. For example, this 12-inch setup here does seem to be pretty much a direct competitor with the SCAR SDR loaded setup. Both these retail for $199, even though of course there may be some sales and stuff at different times. This guy has 650 watts RMS, the SDR has 600 watts RMS. Both these boxes are about 2 cubic feet, and both are tuned to about 34 hertz. So very similar. We'll be excited to see how this thing does. Now, the point of this video is not to be a direct comparison of the two, but if you would like me to do that, guys, maybe I'll go get one of the SDRs in a loaded box, and we'll do a direct comparison of the two. Let me know what you think. First off, looking at the box, I believe it's an MDF construction. We have a nice kerf port over here, of course tuned to 34 hertz. The box, I believe, is just over 2 cubic feet. We do have a logo right here on top. It looks pretty nice. It is actually stitched into the cloth. Over here we have 8-gauge terminals, and this does seem to be in a pretty nice, some sort of ABS plastic holder. Of course, we do have the sloped back. Now, for dimensions, this is 20 inches wide. At the bottom, it's about 18.5 inches deep. At the top, it's about 17 inches deep, and it is 15 inches tall. One thing to note, the edges, while they're smooth, they are a little bit harsher than the SCAR boxes, whereas they have a little bit more rounded edge. Same kind of goes for the back. Again, still looks really nice, but is just something that I did notice kind of comparing these two guys. Looking at this from the top, we do of course have our nice gasket around here. Fits very flush, looks very appealing, and we do have hex screws holding this guy in, so we're gonna pull these out, pull up the sub, see what the inside looks like. These are actual machine screws, so that's nice. Means this box has inserts in it. Okay, this is interesting. Even though this is a Tropo sub, does not have actual terminals like the regular Tropo would have. You can see they soldered everything on here, which is nice. Never have to worry about anything jiggling loose. Guys, they use super nice thick wire on this thing. This is some pretty heavy duty 12 gauge, which is way more than you'd really need for this sub. And it is all 100% oxygen-free copper. Another thing I noticed, they actually have a little bit of some sort of adhesive around here. It, of course, adheres to that, just to make sure you get a perfect seal on this thing. That is a nice touch as well. And yes, as I mentioned, of course, we do have MDF here. And yes, we do have inserts, so that is super nice. And of course, the box that is coated with the polyfill. So overall, not too bad, guys. And real quick, guys, I've been super crazy busy with work the last couple months, but finally that is slowing down. So that means time to do some more giveaways on the channel. CT Sound sent me a couple of these pretty cool line output converters. So we will be throwing this in with one of the giveaways that we're going to do here pretty soon. So let's take a quick look at this guy. This is the CT LC2. Take a look at this fella. This thing is pretty nice looking output converter. We've got the little input connectors right here. Of course, they would plug in there. This is cool. We have a bass control. Kind of cool to have some features. Obviously, we have speaker inputs. We have a remote in, remote out, 12 volt, ground, bass control. What is cool about this is that this has a bass output and a main output. So you can run your speaker wires into here. You then can, of course, run separate outputs to your bass amp and your speaker amp. Really like that. You have a bass lift calibration over here. I'm not exactly sure what that does. Maybe we'll test one of these out. Then up top, we have a bass lift control. Pretty sure this is basically a bass boost. We have your main adjustment for your main output and your bass adjustments for the bass output. Overall, this thing looks like awesome quality. Looks like a pretty cool line output converter. So I cannot wait to be giving a couple of these away. Now guys, I've got a ton of stuff to give away. I've got a big old amp from Def Bonts. Got a bunch of random subs. Got a bunch of swag from Big Jeff. Got a couple of these things. So stay tuned. Here soon we'll be announcing a giveaway. I do all my giveaways over on my Facebook page. So go follow that. One thing I want to say, I never ever pick a winner here on YouTube. If you get one of those messages, somebody leaving a comment saying you won something, y'all, you didn't, okay? Those are scams. Same goes for Facebook. It will be my official Facebook page that will message you, letting you know that you won. And all my giveaways are 100% free, guys. I never ask for shipping or anything. Again, I never take a dime from y'all when I'm doing these giveaways. Okay, I actually ran this guy in my truck for about 2 weeks to let it break in. This thing is nice and softened up, ready to go. We're gonna throw it in the Sequoia and get the testing. Okay, got this little fella all hooked up in here. I will say, this is a big old car to fill up. So in video, I know it's not going to do this guy justice probably, but hey, is what it is. Let's see what we can do. And of course, for people new to the channel, here is the setup we got. So plenty of clean power, gonna be able to go to the sub. Rattling my old shop a little bit. Gotta say, for such a cheap sub, definitely has the car rattling and even flexing a little bit. Not too bad, CT Sounds. All right, next up, I know y'all want to see how loud we can get this guy, so we're going to run a test tone through it. We're going to run 35, 40, and 45 hertz. See what this little fella can do in this big old car. Not expecting anything huge, but might as well see what we get. Okay, we're going to start out with 35 hertz. See what we get. Shooey, guys, 4,994 watts. And we got a 135.8. All right, 40 hertz. Just under 4,000 watts, but we did get a nice bump there, 138.4. Okay, my other app quit working on me, so I had to pull up the Ultimate Car Audio app. It does the same thing. Let's do 45 hertz. All right, 4,000 watt, and a little bit of an increase, 138.6. All right, taking 4,000 watts, like a champ, not bad for a 650 watt RMS sub, and getting into the 138s. Again, for such a cheap sub, not terrible for this big of a car. So it sounds good. Take some power in some burst. It's decently loud. Next up, let's put this thing on a RMS test. We're of course gonna run a 40 hertz test tone through it. For this time, we're gonna leave it in the box just as it is. I just wanna see, guys, if we can make it through 2 minutes like that. Let's find out. Okay, we've got 40 hertz going through this guy. This will tell us our power. This guy will tell us our time. You can see when we turn this up, you can see the power, you can see it going through the sub. Okay, let's get this started. See what it can do. Okay. Well, it made it 2 minutes, y'all. Started out a little bit above 650, went down to about 550. But y'all, I do gotta say, it got hot. About 45 seconds in, it started getting real stinky. I didn't know if it would make it through, but it did. So happy we didn't end up blowing this guy. Now, I did this guy a little shorter, only 2 minutes. A lot of other subs I tried to go to 3 minutes. Of course, for Def Bond subs, I try to go to 5 minutes. The reason I only did it 2 minutes here is because this sub is inside the box. And while that's better for the sub mechanically, when you have a sub inside a box, it does not cool down as easy as when it is outside the box. All that hot air is just staying inside the box and it's just heating up. I do think that's one reason why it got so hot so quickly. Maybe if we would have pulled it out, then it free aired, maybe it wouldn't have got so hot. Anyway, guys, that is the new loaded enclosure by CT Sounds. Of course, this is the 12-inch version. We'll do another video with the 2.8s here at some point. And if you want me to do a direct comparison of this guy to the Scar SDR loaded one, let me know, y'all. Maybe I'll do that. But overall, for $200, you're getting a nice system that sounds really good and does take some pretty decent power. So if you want something nice and easy, guys, this is a great option to go with, in my opinion. All right, I'm gonna do it for this video. Big shout out to CT Sounds and big shout out to y'all. Thank you so much, guys. Remember, as always, keep basing on.